Hello, Omis. Welcome in to a fun, slightly unhinged episode, I would say.
Yeah.
We are doing a rapid fire Q&A session where we really did attempt to do it rapid fire, and we prompted our editor to take out the gaps and spaces of us thinking when we were answering these questions. But Bella and I thought it would be fun to sit down and create these lists of questions. We made around, I think it was like 14, 15 questions that we asked each other. And the questions range from fun questions about childhood, questions about advice that we would give people in certain scenarios, things about us personally within just life questions that are fun. So we also want to say that before you dive into this episode, check the date on your calendar. This episode is coming out on Monday, May 5th. And on May 7th, we will officially be jumping in to the portal. We will be locking in with this group of beautiful souls for 6 months of incredible soul alignment work. If you guys are unfamiliar with what the portal is, it is our 6-month program where we are bringing you through the OM signature method of alignment. And we actually made a full trailer video for the program that we will link below that you guys can go check out. And we also have our landing page that we'll put below. But this program is going to be the place for the beings that want to go all in on their path and experience a really beautiful quantum leap over the next 6 months. Essentially, what we're doing is deep soul alignment work that allows you to tap into the essence of your soul and really emit a different frequency and energy out into your reality field that allows you to shift into your dream life. We're going to be doing deep work with intuition, subconscious healing, activating your gifts through human design and gene keys, getting to know your individual essence. The list goes on. We are literally putting every single thing that Bella and I swear by that has literally allowed us to shift into our own heaven on earth with the way that we live life and the way that we are tapped into our purpose and fulfillment. It is all in one place for the first time ever. 6 months for the beings that want to lock in and shift into this timeline. So definitely go check out the trailer. We actually just released this video last week, so we'll put the link below, and we cannot wait to see all the beautiful souls that are coming into this space. Expect magic and prepare for freaking takeoff. So now let's get into the episode. Okay, you're 97 years old looking back on your life. What's the one thing that you're most proud of?
Oh, cute. Okay. I'm just gonna say the first thing that comes to mind is just how loudly I lived and how much love I put into everything and how much fun I had.
Love it.
Yeah, just fun, loudness, all out love. Probably how many kids, like the gorgeous children that I raised and the family and like the grandchildren and like some semblance of like the work that I did for the world.
What does loud mean to you? I just want to.
It's like an uninhibited woman, like a wild woman.
Yes.
She did not shut the fuck up. You know, she made her presence known.
I think.
And I do think that's going to be me when I'm really old too. I actually really look forward to being old because I know that it's like if I'm cultivating a level of not giving a fuck now, I just imagine how liberating it's going to be when like you're literally old and wrinkly and you actually have zero fucks left.
Right.
And your bottom 3 chakras are kind of like giving out anyway. So you're just like so unhinged. I feel like that's my goal, at least for when I'm old.
I feel like that's the energy we need to channel into our life. Like always. Just like, fuck it. Why is it that our perception when we're 97 is like, life is short?
I know. Well, that's why. Yes, that's why you got to do it now. And that's why like there can be elderly people who are younger than a 20-year-old.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is like a question from someone that I'm putting in quotes. I'm feeling a lot of lack mindset. How do I shift into abundance?
I would write down every single story that is circulating around lack and go in great detail as if you are another part of yourself that's sharing these fears, and start to look at the story from a soul perspective and a higher perspective and weave out weed out the lies and start to see from a soul lens what is actually not true that you are just taking in as absolute truth. I mean, I'm answering this short. I can go on and on about this.
That's good. That's good. I feel like we should try to. The point of this being 30 seconds is we are not good at brevity. So we need to keep it going.
This is a challenge for us.
I know, it's good. So we can always circle back if we're like, okay, I really need to say more about this.
Okay, ready? If your baseline emotion, the emotion that you feel most frequently, was bottled into a scent, what would it be called and what would be its tagline / commercial one-liner? And have it be known, I did not use chat for these.
Yes, everyone should know.
These are original questions.
We came up with these. Oh my God. Okay, can you read it again? Just because this is like such a fantastic question.
If your baseline emotion, and I call baseline emotion like just your most frequent emotion, was bottled into a scent, what would it be called and what would be its tagline?
Silly goose. but she's actually quite deep and sexy.
Okay, so silly goose. But she's actually quite deep and sexy.
I can just see it in like an airport thing. And they're like spraying it. And at first it's like,
Yes. Yeah. I don't know why I'm imagining a literal goose in like a Versace scarf.
Yeah. Right. Like she's silly goose, but but there's more to it.
Yeah. She's mysterious.
That's hilarious. Okay. What has been your biggest up level in your gifts / embodiment of your soul essence, your true self in the past year?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I would say my healing gifts. And I've noticed such an insane growth within my client sessions where I feel so trusting of the guidance that is coming through me during these sessions that I have really stepped into a completely new level with helping people see into their subconscious blind spots. And that is something that I feel so proud of myself for, because it is kind of one of those things where you have to just like keep doing the thing and you just start to relax even more into it. And it just unleashes this inner wisdom. And I'm really, really proud of myself for that, because I feel like it's been such a beautiful journey, like a long 5-year journey of me just stepping into a completely new level with, being a healer. And also, I would say learning how to be a business owner. I don't know if that would connect to like gifts and gift activations, but I feel like when I first started this path, I really didn't know much about what it took to make shit happen as an entrepreneur. And I am so fucking proud of myself for just stepping into a completely new level of embodiment with that. And I really do thank you, because, meeting you was such a catalyst for me to step into the next level of entrepreneurship. But yeah, I would say those two things. And opening my heart more, I feel like too, I would say.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
That was the question, right? What was the question again?
Yeah. What biggest up level in your gifts / embodiment of your soul essence in the past year?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Okay. What is one thing you will do as a parent to make sure your children remember their soul essence?
I will speak to them. I think I will as often as I can speak to their soul and speak to them as if they are, right? Because they are. Speak to them as if they are perfect, complete, nothing wrong with them, which kind of is, it's almost like speak to them like they're an adult, but it's not that. It's speaking to them to their core, like speaking to their core. And also what just came to mind is being their friend at times, not always, because I think as a parent, it's actually healthy to like have when their kid to not be like just the friend role, but I love that. Speak to their soul as often as I can.
And that is also how you help people remember their soul essence in any sense, whether it be children or speaking directly to their soul essence. That's such a good answer. That's going to stick with me.
If I was turn around and ask on you, what would be like the first thing that comes to mind?
I was thinking more in the route of like emotions and making them feel not like the soft parenting where you're just letting kids kind of rip with their emotions in a destructive way. But I feel like holding myself with compassion and love during emotional times in my life has been such a catalyst for me remembering my soul essence, that I think I want to be the embodiment of someone who just lets yourself feel the waves of emotion without shaming or feeling like that means that there's something wrong with you. Because I do feel like that's a big thing that puts a wedge between someone and their soul, is thinking that they are their anxiety, they are emotions, when really that's just like the passing experience.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Meditation, journaling, or breath work.
Kill breath work.
I knew it. I realized as I was writing this question, I was sort of thinking we were both like, I think I was thinking of myself too much with this one. So I feel like hold on, let me think about this. Let me replace meditation, journaling, or emotional alchemy.
Okay. Marry emotional alchemy. Because if I'm not alchemizing my emotions, I'm just staying stuck and I will not evolve. You said meditation and journaling for the other two, right?
Yeah.
Kill journaling, marry, fuck meditation.
Nice. Solid.
We're like holding back from talking about these.
I know, I'm like, okay, sounds good.
We're like, let's do rapid fire. Okay, we're trying this out. Okay. You wake up feeling uneasy and anxious. What is it that you do?
Breath work. I breathe a lot and very intentionally. And I just, I don't really, I just literally get into my body and I just breathe it out. And I don't really go into it. I just breathe it out. And then I'm like, oh, all right, we're good.
And then you ride the wave.
I ride the wave. Exactly. But truly, that's what I do. Any day where I actually I wake up and I'm feeling anxious, I straight up, we'll skip everything and just go into a breathwork session.
And in that breathwork session, are you going into it with the mindset of I need to clear this, or I need to just hold space for this?
It's kind of both at the same time. I'm just letting it transmute. It's just kind of by the nature of sitting with it while breathing. It'll come to the surface and then it'll dissipate. And a lot of times for me, especially if I'm waking up in this way, because I'm a non-emotional, I know it's probably because I picked it up from something, or it's I guess it depends what exactly I'm feeling. And it was anxiety specifically, right?
I just said uneasy. Oh, no, I did say anxious. Uneasy and anxious.
Oh, okay. Well, anxiety technically isn't something that you would be picking up on explicitly through your non-emotional center, but uneasiness and just a wonkiness that feels emotional, in my mind, I'm more let me clear and come back to baseline so that I can actually see what's left over that is mine. And that's why the breath work is both quote unquote flushing it out, but also accepting it, because then I'll be able to more accurately tell what's going on.
How do you think someone can know? Sorry, I'm asking another question here off of this one. How do you think someone can know if an emotion is theirs or something that they picked up on?
So I think this is why, as a non-emotional, if you sit with it and you journal or do breath work or shake it out or whatever is your sort of emotional release process, and whatever your typical ritual of that is, that quote unquote works, if you're still feeling that way, either you kind of start to pick up on and can tell if it's lingering, it's oh, maybe this is something deeper to truly sit with and look at. But you can kind of tell when you just needed to brush it off and literally empty out, which is a concept that's specific to, if you're non-emotional, it's if the quote unquote emptying out didn't bring you back to either a higher perspective or a baseline, then you would kind of go deeper into it. That's my approach again, is if it's still lingering or it feels in the breath work or in the meditation, I was able to be oh wait, this is actually deeper. This is an important thing for me to look at on a deeper level. I can tell, because if it's really not mine, it was just almost debris, emotional debris that I picked up from the day before or whatever, or just, sleeping next to my partner and picking up his stuff overnight. I just can tell if it's meant to just pass through or if it still has this lingeringness, and then I'll know if it's something to more so go into versus just flush out and then come back to my baseline.
Okay, your turn.
Slay. I love these questions. Okay. Do you want fun or deep again?
Just whatever. Surprise me.
Okay, the single most important practice someone can incorporate into their life if they are feeling out of alignment, other than joining the portal.
Literally. I don't know if this is considered a practice, but every time you're feeling out of alignment, I used to say this all the time, seek stillness. Because what we tend to do is have these maladaptive behaviors to being out of alignment where we're self-soothing through addictive behavior or habits. And sometimes just taking a step away from the things that you have been unconsciously doing will put you in a state of presence and stillness where you can just be with one, your emotions and the energy that's passing through you. But once you open yourself up to feel that energy, that is when the higher wisdom comes through. And we will kind of remain stuck in this state of misalignment as we are distracting ourselves from being with what is. So I feel like seeking stillness is like my go-to. Whenever I'm like feeling out of it, I'll go on a walk, I'll like go sit in nature somewhere, and it just literally purifies me. And I just make it a point to seek stillness. And I always have this visual come through of opening up, like as if my chest had arms, like opening up my just like my aura, my field to whatever energetic experience I'm having, instead of constricting, closing off, and self-soothing. That is a life-changing thing to just always do.
Perfect. Time's up.
Okay. What is something you feel most people often misunderstand about you? Okay, let me ask it in a different way, or this will actually just be like a different vibe question. What is something that people will frequently ask you that you feel like people are curious about you? We'll take a different angle. It's a different question, but
Okay, I have this feel. It's like I'm such a joyful person that I think sometimes people are like, how? Like, how is that happening? How is it possible that you love your work so much and you're like obsessed with your life and you're like so in love, and like, how is that a thing? I feel like I don't. But I don't know if that's just like me projecting. That I don't know if that's like normal for people. So then I'm like, I feel like that I must be like a freak, but it's not necessarily like, I don't know if people actually think that. So the other thing that would come to mind is just the first version of the question was more around like a misconception.
Yeah, like a misunderstanding, something people misunderstand about you.
Yeah, probably. I would guess it's something around like work and work ethic, and that I'm like obsessed with my work to a degree that's like in the paradigm of hustling, but in my mind I'm like, I'm having so much fun. Like, this is play to me. So it maybe comes off as this like serious Capricorn. She's fucking ruthless about work, and I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't feel that way. So I think maybe could be perceived as like all I care about is work. But I'm like, that word work is like infused with life itself and play. So I feel like that would be accurate just as a Capricorn or something like that, is like, she's just like an insane like worker bee person that's all she does. And I'm like, I guess it's kind of true that my ideal day is like working, but there's so much more there too, right? It's like, you know, life itself and connection and relationship and everything. But I do think people maybe would, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like you're dedicated to your service to source and like hanging out with source, whether it be through human design books or dance or nature or a client session.
Right.
There's like a connection to source that is infused into every single thing that we do with work. That just is, it feels so amazing to be in that state of flow. And for you specifically, you meet source through reading, through research, through playing
Right.
in the realm of creativity, and that in a sense of the in the paradigm we're living in, those things are considered a means to an end, which is like
Right.
what work would be considered. But when you're doing them, you're just, of course, there is sometimes a goal associated with what you're doing,
Yeah.
but the state of flow that you're in is one of like being so present with what it is you're actually doing that you're just present with source and it feels fucking good. The same way someone would go on a run is like, you know what I'm saying? It's you.
Right.
And I'm saying people that love to go on runs. That's probably a bad example because someone's probably listening to this being like, fucking hate running. You know, the people that are like addicted to running and like runner's high and that type of vibe.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, this is an interesting question too, because it's making me think about, I guess it's normal as a human. Most people, you are having thoughts that are in the arena of what do they think of me? But I think almost the question tripped me up because I don't know how to say this. I'm almost like so in my own world because that's how I'm designed to be that yes, I have thoughts about what people think about me, but they have no charge, that they're just curious. So I feel like I don't even know. Like and I also am like, how would I know? And I don't know, like duh, but also, does that make sense? Maybe I'm not like aware of it because I'm almost so quote unquote self-absorbed in my own, like my things and my life and my vitality and my service and my relationship and what's right around me that it's like I have trouble even getting there to be like, I don't, how the fuck would I know what they think of me? I just have no idea. I'm just like doing my thing over here.
Yeah. It was just more of like a guess because we actually would never know. You're right, because everything is either like a
what you're saying is
projection or
more,
yeah.
we're aware of probably the assumptions one could make.
Yes.
But I think that's where I'm like,
I meant more of like, the question is what's something you feel people often misunderstand about you. So I was thinking something that would be like more of like that you know internally about yourself that you don't put outward, that people wouldn't like understand about you.
yes, like something that's more beneath the surface.
Yes, and like something that
Everything.
you know people look at you and they are probably like, "Oh, this, but then you're like, "No, you don't understand because I'm this." But it's like not even more like, you know what I'm saying? Something
Yeah.
like people misunderstand about you that you're like, you feel it's misunderstood, but
Okay, then this is a good one. I think because my delivery and my presence can sometimes be like a little shocking and unhinged, that I think people would think that I actually care a lot about delivery, and I really care about conscious communication, and I actually try to be meticulous with my words and how I say things, but it can come off like I'm just permanent don't give a fuck mode and I don't think about how I'm saying something, but I actually really care about it. It's just that in the present moment, I don't, like, that filter goes away because it's like in the background I'm working on that. So I think maybe that would be interesting, is it comes off like it's just no thought, doesn't care, whatever. But one of the first things that I actually focused in on when I was building a personal brand was this concept of conscious expression and how to be authentic, but like still think about what you're saying and how it's impacting people.
Interesting. Was that like a course you did or something, or?
Yeah, it was the first, I can't even remember. I think it was like a PDF course. I remember I went on Instagram Live in like 2021 to like present it. And I can't remember if I was running it as a course or a PDF or something like that. And yeah, it was like, because I was in the world of where I was bridging together Eastern philosophy, and I felt like Eastern philosophy just automatically improved your communication. But I also was in the world of studying open-mindedness and how to have productive disagreements, and I like brought them together into this concept of conscious expression. And it was also in a time where there was so much censorship online and people weren't speaking their minds because of all the COVID stuff. And so I made this like course thing that was all about how to be authentic but like express yourself better and be open to other ideas and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah
Should bring that back.
Yeah, I gotta pull it out of the archives. It would be really, really interesting to read that and be like, oh wow,
I love that. Okay.
so yeah, anyway, that was way longer than 30 seconds, but that was a good question. Wait, I want to know yours. like read it back and then you answer for yourself.
You know, this is probably something more in the past. I feel like in the past, I would keep almost my like spiritual loving self separate for the people that like understood that side of me. And then I would go around people where I'm like, oh, you don't get what I'm going through. And I would like portray this image of myself that was more so like closed off, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just like parts of me that I feel like only specific people get like tastes of. And I feel like you know that part of me, Peter knows that part of me. Yeah, maybe it's like knowing that part of me very intimately and then not having that be seen by people is what I'm thinking of. But you know what? Also, I feel like there is a side of me that is very much unhinged and pretty like inappropriate with jokes and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love it.
And
you should listen to this bitch's commentary at dinner.
Yeah, like that part of me maybe I think it can be a little shocking. Like even when we're on the retreat, we'll see if that side of me wants to come out and people are gonna be like, what the fuck? Who is this bitch?
Yeah.
I just get a little unhinged and what was that?
I was gonna say it just makes sense that we're so multidimensional. Like it's rare that everyone would see all sides of it. Like
yes,
even like it's normal that even there's a concept that like your partner sees probably the most of them, but like it's even okay that like no one will ever see the full of multidimensionality of it because like it's you. It's pretty much it's very difficult to fully put that out there, let alone in like the sense of like a brand and like a platform and a not persona, but you know what I mean, like a forward facing thing that most people are seeing you through.
Yeah, this question's interesting too because it's like we are always misunderstood. It's actually impossible to be fully understood. Like even us being so close, you don't actually know the fullness of who I am.
100%.
And same goes the other direction. And we are always perceiving people through our own perceptions and lenses. So this question's actually kind of a trick question because it's like we are always misunderstood. Even you guys listening to us have an idea of who we are based off of your own lens. And of course, there's also an aspect of this where we are extremely authentic and just real on this podcast. So you are receiving the fullness of who we are, but you're still filtering it through your own individual lens.
Right. Yeah. That's why I think it's like you get to a point where you
just give up trying to even be understood.
Yeah. You don't even, because you're like, it's literally impossible and everyone is misunderstanding you. That's the whole point. Like that's actually what makes this reality so interesting and cool.
Yeah.
So that's why you're just like, how should I know? Who the fuck cares? And then you just get to the point of authenticity because you're like,
literally, who cares?
You can't win trying to like, exactly.
I think that was a big liberation moment for me in this journey of like having a podcast and putting my voice online. I started to understand the whole concept of every single person perceiving reality through their own subconscious lens. And I was like, what the fuck? Why am I going to spend my whole life trying to be liked by everyone when it's impossible? And two, even if someone is liking you based off of a false version of yourself, like who is winning there? You know what I mean? So I started to just logically think about this at the beginning of my path. And I was like, what the fuck? I need to just let myself live because literally, who cares? You're never going to be liked by everyone. Let yourself just be you and your tribe will find you. Your people will find you.
Yeah. Amen. Okay. Next question. Okay, this one's cute. What is your favorite thing about Peter, your husband? Pick one.
Oh my God, I just like felt my heart expand when you said that. I would say he is so empathetic and so caring. And he is the guy that in a room is going to really connect with people. And there actually are times where he's not this person and that's totally okay. But there are these moments where I just can feel like how much love he has for other beings and how much care he holds. And I think going through a tough childhood of being bullied and not really connecting with kids at a young age, he has this aspect of him that is so incredibly loving and caring that literally just makes, like, I feel this like melting sensation in my heart right now. And he is so of service to other people in such a deep, loving way. And I feel so blessed and lucky to have a partner like that. And it's a really deep devotion to caring for others. And I've learned so much about that from him, and like seeing how he cares for our household. And we don't even have children yet. It's just like the way he cares for Nala and me and us as like a unit. He's just such a provider. And it's just so sexy and beautiful and soft and also masculine. And yeah, it really, and I feel like a lot of people would say that about their partner that they choose, because I do feel like that's a strong characteristic that females are attracted to, just with like the energetics of it. And every male, I feel like, has their individual flavor of like how that shows up. And I find Peter's is very like emotionally sensual, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. It's really cute hearing people, like all different people, talk about what like their favorite thing or their most, like what the quality that they note the most in their partner, because it also just tells you so much about not just the partner, but the individual and what they really value. And it's just like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Peter's the kind of guy that like someone asks for something and he's gonna like put together like a whole, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
He just really likes to like serve people and to help them and to like see the feeling that they get from his help and guidance. And it's really, really beautiful.
That's so cute.
That's a really beautiful question.
Moving on.
I was going to say, do you want to answer that too?
Whatever. Just pick your next question. It doesn't matter.
Okay. What is one thing young Bella did that would surprise someone? And you can take this in any direction that you want. It could be like...
Okay, I don't know if this is surprising, but it's the first thing that's coming to mind. Because in high school, I was like boy crazy. But I feel like it's so common. It's not that surprising. Yeah. I don't know if it is common, but I was freaking boy crazy. Like the classic, just like crushes and need to be liked back. And like, oh my God, it was like a big thing that I went through. And finally, when I kind of like healed and shifted that, then I ended up like I like swore off like dating and hooking up and stuff. And I was like, I will not hook up with someone.
What age was that?
19. And then 3 months later, I started dating Milan. So I went like off. I was like boy crazy, really hurt by the fact that like most of my crushes, basically all my crushes, like never liked me back. And it was like so shitty. And I was just like, that's how I entered my first semester of college, was like dressing for the boys, like wanting to, like that whole shebang. And my New Year's like resolution for 2016, like January 2016, was no boys until I myself feel like I've kind of returned back to myself, and until I know that like the boy is like in it for the right reasons. And 3 months later I started dating Milan, and that was it.
She was manifesting at 19 years old.
Man, exactly. I had no idea at the time that that's really what that was. But I don't know if that's that surprising. Like, I don't know. It's like pretty common. Like, it's not the craziest thing to be boy crazy in high school. I mean, not everyone is like that, but.
No, that's a good one.
Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, yeah, there's obviously more like funny, weird, surprising things, but.
These are hard when you're put on the spot.
I know, it's like hot seat and you're like 30 seconds. Okay, fuck, I spent 25 seconds of this just thinking about the answer.
Yeah.
We can always come back to them. Okay, I liked that. Okay. What is the most surface level / shallow goal or thing that you actually really want, but is like technically surface level shallow? supposedly.
I mean, I have a car that I really want, and it's on my vision board, and it's material. That's the surface.
I feel like a car is, but that's like so like accepted. I feel like.
I don't know. To be honest, like yes, I bought like that nice bag recently, but I am not like a girl that like saves up to buy. Like I'll be gifted that kind of stuff and like love it. Like Peter got me that nice watch and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I'm like not the kind of person who's like putting on a vision board like expensive jewelry or whatever. It's just like not where my mind goes. And
you did put that bag though.
I did put the bag. That's a good point. But even when I put the bag, it wasn't. I don't know. It's just like
it's
a
not
fun
like
thing
you're like,
to
oh
me.
my God, yeah. It's just fun. It's just fun. You're not. It's nothing like
I've never.
So
even when Peter and I started dating, I guess his ex was like really into bags and stuff, and he was like, "Wow, like you don't care about like handbags," and I had just never even thought about it. And then I started looking at some handbags, and I'm like, okay, honestly, like, okay, like just buy one of these, and
nice.
it's nice and fun. But yeah, I don't, you know what it is? I actually really do desire, when I think about it, to have a closet that is like so reflective of my soul. And I feel like this is what excites me. Like
the thing is, you're even talking about it through your soul though. You know, it's like, it's not like I want just it's like a whole world of desiring material possessions that is like not even thinking about why you want it. You're just like programmed to want and buy shit. This is like totally different world.
Right.
But please continue because it's beautiful.
So when I am buying like a nice thing, it's because I'm wanting something that I like to have like staples of things, like a staple black bag, a staple this, a staple white t-shirt. And I'm trying to switch over my spending habits and my shopping habits to actually be more inclusive of like spending more money on quality objects. And when I'm thinking about my future self and I'm like living in the house that Peter and I are going to buy and I have this closet, I can imagine that my closet is just every piece is of quality and it's a representation of something that I would wear over and over and over again. And this is like something that I'm very mindful of now when I'm shopping. I will only buy something if it's like a fuck yes, and I feel it immediately. And even just now, I bought a new pair of Hoka sneakers just because I had the other ones that I've been wearing for so long, and it was time for a refresh. And they're actually, I made them like the same branding colors of my Oath to Growth website, and they're like so fucking dope. They're like thick, heeled, and I was trying them on upstairs, and my mom was like, "Oh, keep the box like in case you return it." And I'm like, I don't return stuff. Like that's like not something that I do. Like I'll never like buy something if I'm not
right.
If there's any thought of me like not keeping it, I'm not buying it. So
right, you're like not clicking purchase unless you're fully fuck yes on the item.
And it's quick. Like I will literally see like these shoes that I bought, the Hoka shoes, I got a Pinterest ad for them. I was like, fuck yeah, pink and orange, so cool. Literally went to the website, didn't look at any other shoe and just hit buy within a 30-second span.
That's like a classic sacral yes. So you're just like, okay, there's no question about this.
So yeah, I would say like surface level shallow desires would be like a decked out closet that is representing my soul essence.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. If you could go back to any age of Bella and give her one piece of advice, what age would it be and what would you say and why?
High school me at age, maybe I was like, I think 17 would be a good pinpoint. It would be connected to the whole boy craze thing because that really caused me like a lot of suffering. And I think I would just tell her something. It was, what would I tell her? Right?
Yeah. A piece of advice.
It's either like a message on you don't need to be liked back to feel okay type of thing, but probably at that moment it would be more about just take a breath and maybe just hold off on sending like the text and trying to get this person to like you back and whatever. Just take a break from that. I feel like she would need a message around like your worth and your coolness and your social acceptance. Like it doesn't have anything to do with whether the boys are liking you back or like the boys that you're hooking up with. Like it doesn't have anything to do with that. So maybe just focus in on yourself or just hang out with your friends more or something. Part of the thing that was causing suffering for me was I also had a hard time in friend groups. I never had like a set friend group. So I was kind of just fucking floating around everywhere. And it was like, oh, maybe like boys will like me. And so I can like go like have this boyfriend. And I only had like really my one homie, Marisa, who's still like really the only like best friend from childhood that I have. And everything else was just floating around. So even the concept of like, go hang out with your friends, it was like, that's not really that smooth either. So I think I'll probably just tell her to then spend more time with herself and like cultivating her like joys of creativity and making videos and studying at school. Like just go in on the stuff that you yourself really enjoy doing and just being like, you don't need these fucking stupid boys. They're stupid and you don't need them.
Love it. It's so crazy when I hear you talk about your childhood and kind of the insecurities you faced then just because of how much growth you've experienced and how like in your body and confident and empowered you've grown to be. And it's beautiful because all of those moments really act as such a catalyst to waking up to that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see people that are in these like soft friend groups for their entire life. And you're like, oh, where's the discomfort going to come in and kind of
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being in a friend group since childhood. I have a friend group that I've been in since I was literally in middle school. And
yeah.
we're all like,
and it's amazing. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
But I do feel like I meet a lot of people with that similar story of like struggling in the younger years with friend groups. And Peter is one of those people that will share that. And I recently met someone else who was sharing that, and he's like the coolest, most authentic, just like free flowing guy. Cause I feel like you get that out of your system early on of being like, wow, I am the person that decides my worth. And it's like it's a fundamental lesson you learn by going through the fire of that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Cause it's like you almost have to become the like rebel lone wolf person because the friend group thing isn't really happening for you. So like the squad and like the tribal acceptance doesn't feel like it's happening. So you're just like, well, I guess I gotta fucking fill my own cup here and not give a fuck, you know? And obviously at first it's like an ego protection, but obviously there's a beautiful side to everything. So you end up having that kind of aura of confidence and whatever, even if it started out as a protection mechanism. So yeah, it's interesting. I feel like even then I would just continue to encourage myself to like spend time with my siblings and my family and like just keep putting more attention into where things do feel good. Mm-hmm. I think that's why high school sticks out as like the place where I picked up those like standout like subconscious programs and things that I've healed a lot of in the last years, because it was the time when I left my like little safe bubble of my family, was like out in like the world and like getting the conditioning and the societal stuff and the pressures and the this and the that. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, how do I fit in here? I don't. And so it was like a very formative time. But yeah, obviously at the end of the day, I wouldn't actually change anything, but I would go and be like, fuck those boys. Go hang out with yourself. Go hang out with Marisa across the street. Go make silly home videos and just fucking relax.
Start your YouTube channel.
Yeah, start a YouTube channel now. Then literally. I will thank you in 10 years. Thank you. So yeah. Oh, okay. My turn to ask you a question. Okay, I actually also wrote message you would send to your high school self, but maybe you can pick an age. And we gotta be more rapid fire. Although you let me answer in depth, but anyway.
No, I can be rapid fire about this. I would say pursue your creative interests, because I think I had so many creative interests even throughout high school, and I went on to focus on other things, and that would be the message I would share with my younger self.
Amazing. Wow, a lot of sim stuff. It's always like same shit comes back up. It's like, Focus on what really matters.
Literally.
I love it.
Okay, what is something most people love that you hate?
Again, I'm blanking because I'm in the hot seat, but I feel like you would even be able to point these out for me because
Yeah, I have stuff
I'm
for
like
you that I'm thinking about.
I can be such a contrarian and be like, fuck that thing. What is it that I don't like that everybody else seems to love? I mean, but this is like, you would agree with this, like pop fucking music and stuff. And I'm blanking. I don't know. You answer for me.
I was thinking of how you said you watched Charlie XC. What's that girl's name?
Oh yeah, Charlie XCX. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, sorry. I just really did not like it. I was like, I don't get the hype. I don't get it.
At Coachella.
What? Like at Coachella, it felt so, I was just like, what is the artistry here? Like if people were like, she's such a good performer. I was like, what are you talking about? All the love and respect. You're on a stage. I'm not saying this from like a whoa. I'm just saying like, I did not get it. I do feel like I have that often where I'm like, what's like interesting about this? But that everybody has that. So I don't know. I don't like coffee. I don't like coffee at all. I like the smell, but I just can't. I never got into drinking it. I can't drink it. It makes me shit my pants. So there's that. Something everybody else loves and I hate. This sucks. This is so boring. Sorry to the listeners. I can't even. I don't know.
I would say also any piece of clothing that touches your crotch.
Oh my God. Yes, for sure. I'm definitely growing out of wearing clothing that is just too tight around the crotch. Like it's not a move. But yeah, I feel like the energy is just in general. I can just be a little bit of like if everybody really likes it, I'll probably be like,
yeah. This is why I was excited to ask this one, because I feel like you have so many things where you're just like, no, and you like won't. Oh, alcohol.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. But I don't know. I also, I don't like, I'm very conscious of, I don't like to be a hater because I know that when someone really likes something, like I'll poke fun, I'll have fun with it, but I do try to not, because I'm like, I get it when I'm so passionate about things that it's like, it's kind of sucks when someone else is like, that's so fucking stupid. You're like, okay, sorry for sharing my passions.
No,
But
I know. I'm not saying hater,
things, like,
just
internally.
things that you would not love.
Yes, for sure. I think there's just a lot of stuff like that, just generally that's like either you would qualify as like mainstream or this, and I'm just like, I don't give a care, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, biggest subconscious healing shift that you have had in the last, I say put year, but I'm going to shrink this down because we both know so much happens in the last 3 months.
I would say the subconscious belief around money and greed.
Wow.
That has been massive. That was a massive healing for me that I feel like literally opened the floodgates for more money to come into my life. Subconsciously believing that desiring money or even holding large amounts of money makes you a greedy, bad person. I healed that. Went in, dissolved it.
So that one felt like it was like far reaching, right? Like it felt like it
felt like such a blind spot because it's so conditioned, not even just like in your immediate world, but also as a collective. It is so conditioned to believe, we're so conditioned to believe that desiring money and having a lot of money makes you a greedy, bad person. And we're actually diving into this on the Taurus New Moon workshop. If you guys are in the Oasis, watch the replay of this because I'm sure I'm going to talk about my healing in that workshop. But there is such a beautiful liberation that comes when you realize the neutrality of money and how it's just whatever consciousness that's behind it that's going to amplify the energy. And yeah, that was a massive, massive healing for me. That was like one of those blind spots you have where you're just thinking like I really couldn't see past it. You know, when people are questioning certain beliefs and you're like, no, but money is neutral. And I would like hear people say that and be like, no, like, you don't understand. Like money, like these people are greedy and this is bad. Like you don't get what's that. Like I could have, but that's the thing. When you have a blind spot, you will live in a reality where that actually is truth and you will bump up against people that do reflect that belief. And now I'm starting to see this entire reality open up for me with my own world and also with other people. And it's fucking life-changing, truly.
Wow. Yeah, I feel honored that I got to literally sit next to you while that was happening.
Yeah, that was wild.
Wow.
Yeah, abundance codes. Okay.
Love it.
What would you say to someone who wants to take a big leap in life and trust more? What words of wisdom would you share with them? What's like a few lines that you would say?
The feeling that you are going to get from quote unquote surviving this fear and surviving this leap is going to outweigh forever the safety or the benefit you think you're getting from not doing this thing and living in the fear. And to trust that going through that fire, even if it takes you 10 times going through the fire before you feel the like worth it feeling, it's worth any number of times going through the fire to feel the feeling of knowing and proving to yourself that you could do it. And you'll also realize that the fears are literally fucking made up.
Yeah. And how held you are.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. Yeah. Wow. So good. That is so good. I can't even imagine just like someone hearing that and being like, wow, now I'm going to go take the leap. Thank you, Bella.
Yeah. Actually, my real word of wisdom is fucking send it.
Yes. Fucking send it.
Fucking send it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is funny. Okay. If your life depended on you completing one certain task or skill, what would guarantee your death?
Oh, my death. I thought you were going to say survival. I was like thinking about all the things I'm so good at.
No. This is about if your life depended on a certain skill, what's having to do with certain skill would guarantee that you die. You do not survive because your life depends on this.
I would say like properly. And also maybe I'm just like picking up on like things that like Peter would say about me. But like I'm really not good with like admin work and getting things like in order with like flights and like planning trips and like booking hotels and like the organization of all that. One time Peter left it in my hands to book flights for a trip that we had planned, and I literally booked the wrong San Jose, and it was like this whole thing. And from that moment on, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a back seat with this. You will always forever for the rest of our lives.
This is your genius.
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to take over.
Yeah. So I would say admin work. It's like an ongoing joke between Peter and I that I hate admin work. He'll be like, can you call the accountant about this one thing? And I'll be like, I'll do it in 10 years.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. I love it. We love the self-ownership.
Yeah.
We love it.
Okay. In just a few sentences, what is your theory on the meaning of life? I don't think you know what rapid fire means. You just have to start speaking.
I'm sorry. I know, but I know this is going to sound really annoying.
What?
That's it. The silence is literally my answer.
Oh, okay. There's no meaning. You create it. It's made up.
I mean, you're saying a lot of things and I'm saying nothing, and I'm not affirming or denying any of this. So that's it.
Okay. I see you. All right. Let's each ask two more.
Okay. What do you love about yourself the most? Own it.
There's just so many things. Probably.
Where do I even start?
I would say the way that I ruthlessly live my life. And I will not settle for a life that isn't in alignment with my soul. And I think that can be very confusing to people. But I love that about myself. And just quickly, I was in a conversation with someone the other day, and she was saying, she's like, you know what? I think she was like saying this around me just because of what I do for work and everything. And she's like, I think like just like everyone hates their job. And I was like, yes, but I'm just the kind of person that's not going to settle in a career that I just don't resonate with, and it's not in alignment with my soul. Like that's just not who I am. And yeah, even today, Peter texted me and was like, you do realize you're like at the beach on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock while everyone's like sitting at their desk, and you like have created this life of freedom. And I just texted back and I'm like, yeah, the 9-to-5 life like just didn't resonate with me. Like it literally just didn't make sense and didn't logically make sense in my brain that I'm going to spend my whole life sitting at a fucking desk in an office with white lights. So yeah, that's what I would say. How ruthlessly, what is that word that I'm trying to say?
Yeah. You're ruthless about something, so
Yeah.
ruthlessly.
Yeah. Ruthlessness.
Yeah. I feel like one time you described this as, this was, I think, when you realized your emotional authority, and it was like always opting for what would just feel good to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like is like at every fork in your life road, you're always going for what actually just feels good to me, and having no tolerance for the stuff that is just like you're saying, it just ain't it. It's just like, nope, I don't like that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And I think one other thing with this, like people will be like this one girl was asking me, she's like, how did you get to that point of just like not caring about, what did she ask me? I like don't even understand the question fully, but I know what she was trying to get at was like, how did you get to that point of just like going and doing it? But I don't see it as an option. Like I feel so fucking connected to my soul essence that it's not like my intuition guides my life. I'm not like sitting here thinking about it. I'm just doing it. And I think I love that about myself because I can look at what's to come in my life and what has already occurred in my life. And I just feel pure excitement for life and the journey that I'm on, and the excitement that is literally in every single day and every single adventure of every day. And I came here to serve with this mission, but I also came here to have fun and to live a life of freedom. And that word freedom means so much to me. And I will not let anything stand in my way of feeling free in this lifetime. I think it's like our birthright.
Yeah. So do you feel like if you were answering that girl, was there that point where you did make this like huge life altering decision? It was essentially when the 9 to 5 was becoming clear that it was not like going to be a vibe for you, and just wanting to opt for the life of freedom, that there was like a core like leap and shift that now sitting here, the person you are is, like you're saying, it's fully integrated, where you're not thinking anymore about, what am I going to do? Like you're just so in it. But there was like the points, quote unquote, further back in the timeline that opted you into this timeline now, where like you'll continue to do this, but you're not thinking about it as much.
Yeah, I think there's a moment in life where you're still in the reality that feels like it's not freedom. I mean, this is all, the whole point of this is that you unleash freedom from within yourself, and then reality reflects that. But
yeah,
there are moments in your journey where you haven't tapped into your own inner freedom, and you haven't remembered how inherently free you are, and you think that you need to do certain things in life, and you're living in that reality. You're in the 9 to 5 job that you hate. You feel like you're not living a life that feels aligned with you. And then I do feel like there's a chapter where you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, where you're being exposed to what's possible. And that moment of like taking the full step into this reality, where I literally can't even see myself ever being in that kind of reality again, came from like really pouring everything into like being around people that are in that reality, watching the content, doing all the things, until like that became my norm. It's just like I just prioritized things differently.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we talked about that in that episode. Because it wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice. It was like, this is happening.
Yeah. Wait, which episode? Just so people know.
The career one.
Oh, yes. So how to get out of a misaligned career.
Yeah. Episode 93. This is my last one to you, right?
Yes.
What is an energy or a state of being that you experience regularly that you wish more people could feel?
The best way to describe it is almost this like lust for life. And I can just look around me and be so like fascinated and in love with and grateful for. And like, it's like literally the feeling of just drinking up the freaking goodness of life. And I describe it as this like lust for life because it is kind of tied. It's not quote unquote sexual, but it's very creative and it's very life force. And yeah, it's just like this freaking deliciousness and this love for life. And it's like there's a childlike essence of it that's very like, wee, free. But then there's also just this like, oh, you just want to like drink up this life experience. I feel that a lot. Like I feel that every single week, sometimes like in certain spans, like every day.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing feeling. And I do think anybody can access that by I think it'll look different. Like it might not be so like to everyone, but I think everyone has that vitality. It's just like in touch with, I think, vitality and some version of gratitude for life.
Yeah. It's like, I describe it as like a cute aggression, but like with life. And it's not cute.
Yeah.
It's like love.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
And you do express that even like viscerally in the moment when you're like eating food and when you're like in an experience. There are so many moments where we'll be like sitting on the couch or something and you'll just like put your hand on my wrist and look at each other and look at me and be like just like nod and be like,
yes. No, that's exactly. That's me all the time. I'm like that with Milan all the time, with food where I'm eating it. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. And like, and you just want to like speak it and share it. And so for sure. Cause it just is fun. I think that comes down to just, like a vitality.
Yes.
Thing.
It's like the connection to the life force and really feeling soul in everything you do. Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, let me see if I have one from here or if I want to flip one back at you. Okay, I really liked your question that you just asked me. So I forget the phrasing. What is a state of being or frequency that you experience often that you wish more people would experience?
Yes. Immediately I thought of inner power and just like the feeling of I can fucking do anything. And I feel that obviously there's moments of forgetting, like that's very natural, as there's moments of tapping out of, you're not meant to feel this 24/7 because then it wouldn't even feel special. But I would say very often in my life, I feel this feeling of limitlessness.
Yes.
And it excites the fucking hell out of me. And I love passing it on to other people and helping them awaken to just like fucking limitless being. And I think it's because I'm so obsessed and in tune with like the unseen and the energetics that I understand like how abundant life is. And I think that's like the baseline remembrance that I have. And it has all these different other kind of like aspects that will branches of that will kind of like, that's the umbrella. And off of that, I just have this like deep feeling of trust that has really helped with anxiety too. Like I used to feel anxiety so often, but now because I know how powerful I am and I've remembered that to such a deep level, when I'm experiencing waves of like anxiety or the passing energy of an emotion, it's this like inner knowing that one, everything is exactly how it's meant to be. But two, like you are a limitless being that is living in a holographic universe, and there is nothing that can't be done. There's nothing that you can't do. And every single fear that you hold about yourself or something that you think you can't do, it is all an illusion that you came here to unlearn. And that power and that energy and that just like fucking force within you is always available. It's just our perception on it that will alter and change throughout time. But that, I would say, is like something I wish I could like literally just bottle up to people and give them something, and it would unlock their own power within, which is connecting to my mission, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's so beautiful. And I feel like we both, like, that is such a huge reason why we both do what we do. It's really like the huge ethos and essence behind Om is like, especially when we see someone who is not tapped into that, because we can see the potential that's already in there, like the raw material of it. We're like, come on, here, it's right here, it's right inside of you. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a beautiful feeling. It's really a blessing to be tapped into The thing is, like, it's innate. It just feels natural. It's why it feels so good. We're just remembering and unlocking these codes and frequencies that the raw material has always been in there. So yeah, it's just, oh my God, it's beautiful. And yeah, I feel like it's also amazing because literally all of your gifts and the work you do and the way you serve is helping people to awaken that in themselves. It's freaking incredible.
And I always say people that meet me and come into my world, come into it for a reason, which I think applies to everyone. Like you always meet someone like that invisible string theory where we're all kind of connected and we're meeting each other at the perfect time. And I even added this to my landing page. Like if you met me, it's because there's a part of you that wants to remember your power.
Yeah. Beautiful. Slay.
That was fun.